Morning everybody, working on the Landcruiser today on the ute. I'll try and make this a short video. Going to be sort of a how-to, and I'll sort of make it so that you can sort of carry this information on to pretty much any car. It has a manual window winder. So basically I need to replace the reg inside the door because when, I don't know what causes it, I think there's like something gumming up the runs where the glass slides. Basically, when you wind it down, jams up like that. Basically, I think because the gears have caught so many times, they've actually worn out and they skip now. So I need to replace that. So I'll show you what it looks like for those who don't know what a window reg looks like inside their car. Here it is here. That basically has a little ball wheel on it and hooks up to a slider on the bottom of the window, and your handle goes there, and when you wind that goes up and down and in turn lifts the window up or down. Now this one only has the one arm. You'll find a lot of ones these days that have like an electronic window reg, so one you have a button, or modern day ones with a winder still have two arms, and I think that's a lot of the problem with this one is it just has one arm, so it takes a lot more force on it to actually get that window up. But anyway, that's irrelevant to what we're sort of doing. So what I'll do first is I'll handles off, speaker out, the little squeaker speaker. I can't remember if I need to take that light out. I've replaced this once before when I bought the ute, and then we can pop the skin off and we'll have a look once we get into it. It's a pretty simple job, yeah, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is going to pop these three handles off. Might have to go get a pick. On the Landcruisers behind for the handle, they just pull the little covers off, and then that reveals the screws for the handle. And then with the door handle, the window winder, sorry, I got a little tool here, and you basically feed that in there. You've got to have the handle the right way, so I think it needs to be fed through from the bottom. Basically you find the groove at the other end, and you try and get it around the clip. Like so. So there you can see the clip there. You need to push out. Try not to lose them because the handle will just fall off if you do. And then this thing, the little washer, it's pretty knackered, but that doesn't matter. And then I'll undo that and pull that off. And that's just a matter of undoing the screw in there. Hold your handle like that, and that should slip around it, I'm pretty sure. So I'll grab a screwdriver and do that. Alrighty, so I took the grab handle off, undone this. You'll see these little tabs. So it sort of slides in across and you need to pull it across to get it out. You also see there's the actual arm for it. So you can flick that plastic latch around and then that arm will pop out, then you can take this off. I'm going to try and leave it on because they can be fiddly sometimes. See if I can get the handle through the skin. If I end up taking this off, well, you know I couldn't get it through there. So I'll pull my speaker out first, next, sorry, and then I'll try and peel this skin off. So I'll come back to you once I've done all that. Right, you can see I've got the door skin off. That light's still connected because I don't want the wires to short out when I undo them because they're hardwired to the light switch. So with the window up, I've got to undo now is these three bolts. Now this will be pretty much the same for most cars that have a manual window winder. It's the same for electronic ones, except you won't have this where your handle goes to. There'll be a motor on the inside and a plug. So you're not going to be able to see it, but up in there there's basically a slide across the window, and that arm goes into it with this roller, and that rolls across there. So basically we undo that, then the window will want to fall down. So I've got to hold the window and then slide the arm out of that slider, and then we'll slide the new one in. It's pretty simple. With the ones with 2 arms, usually you've got to undo the sliders from the bottom of the window. You'll generally see there'll be like 2 sliders, 1 on each side, and you undo the 4 screws that hold it in, and then the whole assembly comes out, and you've got to wriggle it out the hole down the bottom, which is usually the hardest part. So I'll undo those, and I might actually get some duct tape to just tape over the window to hold it, and then I'll be able to slide it out. Alright, you'll see I've just put some electrical tape over the window to hold it up there. I'm going to undo the screws. So I'll undo the screws now. Alright, so now that's gone loose, so that's just hanging off the arm. So what I'll do is try and get in there now. And there we go, so here's the old one. Yep, so you can see there the teeth on the gear have all been mushed away, so that's why it's getting jammed. Other than that, it's all right, but yeah, obviously not working properly. So this one can go in the scrap. So now we just do the same in reverse. As you can see there, all the teeth are in good shape. So what I'll do is I'll line it up with the winder where it needs to be to fit back in perfectly. I'll make the same angle as the other one. Then I'll slide it up and feed it into that roller, and then bolt it back in. Alright, so this is set up at the same angle now, so I can just slip out straight into the door. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so we've got that back in position again, so now I can put the 3 screws back in, and then we'll test it out, make sure that it works properly, and then we'll be able to put the door skin and everything back together. Alright, so that's all buttoned back up. I've got the handle on there at the moment, so we'll just give her a quick test. Beautiful. That's all done now, so I can put the skin and everything back together, put all my speaker and everything back in. I'll give the slides a little bit of a lube up, and then that should be job well done. So I'll do that, and then I'll get back to you. Alrighty, so that's all put back together now, the way it was. And yeah, I lubed up the slides with a little bit of CRC, I think I already said that, but seems to be all good now. Now I can actually put my window down without it jamming up and having to try and lift it up with my hand, which is very hard when you're driving. So yeah, so hopefully this should be pretty, it's all pretty self-explanatory anyway when you pull that skin off. You don't really, there's not really a lot to it, but if anybody out there needs to do that to their Landcruiser, or if you're just watching because you're going to do it on just a different car. Very basic. You don't need many tools. You can pull them apart pretty easy. The more modern cars with like the plastic skins, they can be a little bit more difficult to pull off, but you just rip them off and they all just clip back together. There's not really much to them. Yeah, so keep the video nice and short. We'll wrap her up here, and as usual, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. There.